Hey everybody, it's Jess. We are back. We are back for another week to torture ourselves with terrible shows and reward ourselves with fantastic shows because we got both this season. Coming up today, we are going to be talking about the latest episodes as of yesterday of the anime that is airing in the current season. Several different titles. If you've never joined us before, welcome. If you have joined us before, yes, I am going to complain about things. Just prepare yourself for that. Also, there will be spoilers, like I said, up to yesterday's episodes. So if you haven't seen them, either mute us or just, well, muting us helps during that segment of anything that you don't want to know about, because we're going to talk about it. So, all right, Erik, are you ready?
Hey, I am ready. I am ready.
Excellent. Oh, give me one second.
I,
Okay,
I
are
changed the
you
order of the slides because you kept complaining every week that the slides were out of order, so I changed it
They
up now.
are. They are. I appreciate that you changed the order of the slides. I noticed you added the ones that we don't have for this week to the bottom too, so
Yeah, yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't lose them for next week. That's good. I like that. All right. Hey, it's
All
Dr.
right.
Stone time.
This time
Oh,
it's
Dr.
first up,
Stone.
Dr. Stone. We have paper airplanes now. Like they're they're
Yeah,
they're, they're,
paper
they're they're
airplanes
weaponizing paper
will
airplanes.
explode. Yeah,
Like I feel like that's really like so I feel like that's really dangerous. Like I don't think that you could just like no, you do not absolutely like they even had like a moment where he says don't try this at home, kids. I'm like, yes, please
yeah.
don't.
Well, and Narimon makes a point that paper airplanes probably are too heavy with the weight of the nitro on them to fly
Exactly.
because it's going to
So
affect
we're
it. Like, have you ever tried to fly a wet paper airplane? Because
yeah, that
I mean,
doesn't
what are you
work.
doing? What are you doing there? Like, and
So
this is my
they're playing really
inherent
loose with
problem.
science right now. But they always play loose with science. So
They do, and that's my inherent problem with the show. You're going to glorify science, and then you're just going to throw it away when you feel like it for narrative purposes. Like, come on! If you didn't make such a big deal out of it, I wouldn't be so angry. But I have a really fundamentally big problem with this episode in particular. All right, this entire season. I mean, this entire season has been I've got to storm Tsukasa's thing. We've got to take this section back. We're gonna have a bloodless coup, so to speak. We've got this elaborate plans left and right. We sent the two other people to spy in there on him, and all of this is building up to the end where they in this episode they capture the cave, right? And
yeah.
then they make a deal with Tsukasa to basically revive his sister and maybe heal her because of the restorative properties of the Medusa Stone and all of this, right? Yeah. Why didn't you just bring that up to him at the beginning of this season?
Well, I mean, it's a negotiation tactic, right? If they had they had no ground, like they didn't have the cave or anything, and
Okay,
the
I
battle
get
hadn't
they didn't
happened
have the
yet.
deal.
They couldn't
I'll give
approach the
you they didn't
table
have
on
the
equal
deal.
terms.
But he was under the assumption that his sister was maybe dead forever, but certainly still comatose in there. And Senku knew that he had a sister, and he knew his backstory, and he knew everything he needed to know to make this deal from the first episode of this season. All of it. He knew it. Okay? He didn't need to go through any of this long, complicated, stupid process if he just started negotiations like a normal human being. Like
I
this
think
this
it
entire
might have worked.
season
It might have
was
worked.
point.
It might like he might have been able to negotiate with just his sister, but there's also a possibility Casa might have been like, yeah, I do want to get my sister back, but I'm not like letting you run wild in the world. Like he needed to like take the cave at the very least. Because I
Well,
don't
he
think
did
I
say
don't
that.
think Sukasa would
But
have given him the cave without
all right,
um
listen.
the
This whole
battle.
thing, like they defeated it. They defeated Tsukasa like just by himself in like one episode. One episode, right? Not even in that long of a time. In one episode, right? Because they stormed the castle in the last one, and then he showed up at the end of the last one, and they beat him in this one. You're gonna tell me that this guy who is like the beast of high schoolers, or isn't gonna try again? Isn't gonna try to reformulate? Isn't gonna come back with an army because he still has people? That's he rolled over like a
Yeah,
golden retriever at the first hint of anything to do with his sister. He rolled over like a trained house pet. Okay.
Well, okay.
Uh,
I think Senku is prepared for that though. Like he knows. Like they said, it's just the truth. It's not like an end of the war. So he's gonna be back. I don't think this is like, oh,
yeah.
now we're on the same side.
No,
Because then
and I
at that
get
point,
that, but I
like
feel like
there's no villain.
Tsukasa has clearly been driven by his sister his whole life. Senku could have just negotiated this on the front end, and we could have avoided everything that has happened this season. People getting seriously hurt, Chrome getting locked up. The tank is kind of cool, I guess, but it's not really super functional for anything other than this. Yeah, we could have avoided a lot of this and just been basically the same place we were at before, possibly with less people hurt. Certainly, and also betraying all the people, letting them hear, the American girl's voice and then telling her it wasn't her. You could have avoided that too, and then maybe they would like you better too. I mean,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'm not mad. Like this show does a lot of things that I just forgive them for. But I'm not mad. But yeah, the plot could have been like trimmed down a lot. I mean, this is definitely more interesting than the Log Horizon negotiations that would have happened under your scenario.
it is. I just it strains credulity. I can't get past it because it seems Tsukasa rolled over real fast when they talked about his sister and the idea of curing his sister. And I don't blame him, all right? But Senku could have come up with this way back in the day and just done it, Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just saying. Oh, paper airplane place. We did have one of those at the 2016 con. It was not, however, dipped in nitroglycerin and did not explode upon
we did
arrival.
not do that.
So, yeah.
I mean, technically, I don't know. The science track might want to do. I mean, they can't do that at Dragon Con, but they can talk about it.
They can talk about it. I was saying, I don't think they're going to bring in nitroglycerin.
They can talk about it.
One
thing about this episode. One thing about this episode that like when they finally was like, okay, we're going to rescue the sister, right? They had to dig up a hospital that had collapsed 1,000 years ago, right? And then they had to find one girl in that hospital, right? Like it's hard enough. Like if you're visiting someone in the hospital and you don't know what room they're in, it's hard enough to find them, right?
Not only that,
you're trying to tell me they found this girl in a collapsed hospital from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
In one piece.
The hospital collapsed. Her body didn't, have any issues or wasn't broken in any way that they can tell, because they don't know that you can glue people back together yet, because only what's her face is doing that right now on Senku's side, right? They found her, and I don't know if people have ever experienced this, but like, so anytime like in, say you're in Florida and a hurricane hits or there's a natural disaster, it is incredibly hard to find where to go without normal landmarks like that you're used to. It's just big flat space and you have no idea where to go. Like, and I feel like you'd have like that problem times infinity in this realm because everything is gone. So, what are you gonna do?
And then it wasn't even like, oh, we found this person, not it. Found this person, not it. It was like we're digging. The first body we found is his sister. And like, no, okay, now you're really stretching it. But I'm not mad. Like, I still enjoy the show a lot.
Yeah, well, you give it more. You have a higher tolerance for this kind of crap than I do. I don't hate the show, but it's certainly not in my tops. So
that's fair.
Now, speaking of tops, how about Erik's tops?
Yeah, so man. So Higurashi, I feel like you can't properly or fully appreciate like so much stuff is happening in every single episode that alludes to like other timelines, and unless you've seen all of Higurashi, you can't fully appreciate it. But this episode was like, man, of all the characters in the entire Higurashi, like the one person that we did not expect to have any redemption or any like excuse for was this man. Like he beats Satoko like in every arc. Literally every arc he comes in, he's like he abuses her. Like she comes to school with bruises on her legs. She has like PTSD every time someone reaches their hand out to like hug her or shake her hand. She thinks they're about to hit her. So she has like deep mental scars from this guy, right? And
Yeah,
so literally every time he comes into into a timeline, um, the child services are like, oh, he's your only family member, so I guess we have to send you back there. And so they send her back there, even though he has a history of hitting her, right? And so it always ends up being like a whole arc where the kids have to try to convince the adults that Satoko's in danger, and it's a whole just like roadblock that stops Rika from doing literally anything because like she literally can't even move forward until this problem is resolved. And so it
yeah.
just wastes like so much time. So for him to come back and to have like slight memories and like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for everything I've done. I'm gonna try to be better. It's like, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Of all the people, and then the craziest part, right? If this
Mm.
happened in the right before you started watching, right before like episode 14, it was his arc where she went back to him and you're like, oh, it's she getting abused again, and they did the whole thing where everyone's trying to save her. But this was the only time where we never actually saw him hit her. We never saw bruises on her body, and we never actually saw any signs of abuse. But we just, all the viewers, just like, oh, we've seen this literally about 6 times now. Like it's like we
Yeah.
understand that like what's going on. And so now it seems Satoko wasn't actually being abused this time, and she may have framed him. And it's like, oh my God, Satoko. Like,
That
on one
that
hand,
does
you
make
can't
an
blame her,
interesting
but on the
perspective.
other hand, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Now, and you made a good point in the notes about at the very beginning of this episode, Sadako is like snapping her fingers to win a game of memory, and
Yeah,
she has a lot more control over this power than Rika did, which makes sense because like Featherine was like, oh, well, she had incomplete power. You'll have the better stuff that comes from me, but you're gonna use this to reset timelines just to like win at a game, and not even like an important game at like freaking memory. Really?
yeah. Like,
Really?
and so I'm not sure if the show is implying that she literally like killed herself in front of all those people every single time. I don't know if they're trying to use her snapping her fingers as like shorthand for her killing herself, or
Yeah,
if
yeah.
she can just snap her fingers and go back.
My
I'm not
fingers
completely
and
sure
do
what
it. Yeah.
direction they're going with that. But either way, it's like this is you put in a lot of effort for like the smallest of
Yeah.
things when you could have just studied. God, oh my God, you
I
could have
know.
just studied.
100 years of watching past storylines. You could be a certifiable genius by now.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
and Merriman makes the point. Still annoyed that they couldn't figure out that they can be friends and still go to different schools because they can. This seems really weird. I. Hmm.
Yeah. So I really love this show. A new episode actually came out today that I haven't watched, but today's episode was quote unquote the final episode of the season. And then they just announced that Core 2 is going to be happening in July. So we're going to be taking a break. So we're probably not going to get a resolution in today's episode,
That's
but
okay.
I
I
am
mean,
so
it'll be
excited.
a resolution on this season at least. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
something. So we'll see. We'll see. Just so for those who are watching and those who've been watching with us, we are going to continue through the spring season, and we'll be talking about the episodes that we'll be following probably next week. We'll talk about like some of the stuff we'll be following next season. So fun times,
Yeah.
fun times. Heaven's Design Team. Okay, this one was weird. I totally thought the whole episode was going to
Was
be about ants, and then it turned out to be about naked mole rats, and I'm like, that's
yeah.
terrifying.
They have a dystopia. Like
They
I didn't
do.
like I the only information I knew about naked mole rats was from Rufus from Kim Possible.
That's
But
like
now I'm like,
impossible.
did he
Everybody knows
escape
naked mole
this
rats from
dystopia? Like did he escape to this dystopia to like live freedom? Like what it like this is so terrible. It's like, oh, they eat the queen's poop and get like kind of like
they,
indoctrinated into like this cult. And
yeah,
I'm like, oh my God.
yeah. Like I had no idea that naked mole rats were so similar to ants, but even more terrifying in weird ways. Like the most powerful one becomes the queen, which makes sense, and then develops the sex characteristics to be able to give birth. And they're longer. They elongate their body. It's like watching Sherry skateboard. Okay, and like you just press the button and it gets longer, so it can hold like the babies and stuff. And then the
Oh
other
my
ones can
God.
fight for supremacy and become the new queen. And yeah, this was definitely a different type of episode. And they didn't show you like the animals. They like portrayed them as these people, humans
Yeah,
looking
that was
things.
interesting. So one thing I do frequently is that whenever they introduce an animal, I go and do like a little bit more information on my own or research on my own. And one thing they glossed over about naked mole rats is that they're extremely xenophobic, right? And so what happens is that the queen, whenever a new queen is crowned or whatever, she establishes a dialect that all the mole rats have to speak. They have to speak in a certain dialect and get in line really fast. Because if you don't get in line really fast, you're killed on sight. Because the tunnels that they live in are so dark that they have to use this dialect in order to identify whether you're part of their crew or if you're another mole rat from another like colony. And so if you're not speaking a certain dialect after a certain period of time, they're just like, well, you don't pass the test, and they kill them. They kill each other on sight. So the main
What a
character, the
horrific
main character,
society.
the main character would not have been able to go on a tour. He would have been like literally torn to shreds.
Fun. I am excited about next week. Next week there has been some kind of accident, and all of the angels are babies, except for the old man who's like just some dude
Yeah,
now. He's a
I
younger
mean,
dude
yeah.
now.
Now he's regular age, and all the other ones. I mean, they're not babies. They're like little kids. You got if you watch like
Yeah.
the preview for next episode, you got to see like Pluto looks like she's I guess like 7. I think she might be the youngest of them. But yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be really fun. I don't quite understand
Yeah.
why they age regardless because they're angels.
Yeah.
How long have they been doing this? What was their job before this? But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good question. This is a good question. All right, Code
All
Black.
right.
Code
It's a
Black.
heart attack.
Oh,
It's a
this is
heart
a stressful
attack.
show. This is a stressful show. Oh my god.
Oh my
All right. So
God.
until this point, you haven't seen the executive branch, which is apparently in the heart. And now we're having a heart attack. The heart is completely clogged. One of the arteries go into it. And the heart guys are just like, well, sorry guys. We're
Going
shutting
under.
down.
It's like,
Just,
sorry guys, we're filing for bankruptcy today. Thank you for your service.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I love how they handle it, just like a legitimate like corporation. Like, look, guys, it's hard from all of
Yep,
us,
they were
but
like,
we're going back.
I'm sorry, we're shutting down. Oh my god.
So the
Things
only
are
thing is,
bad. Go
I
ahead.
kind of wish that they like. It seems like the execs are just as helpless as everybody else. So I don't quite understand why they're execs. But so I wish they would have like had the execs be the brain. And I wanted the I wish it'd have been like the execs were like, yeah, the body exists for us. Like sorry
Yeah,
guys, but like this is your job. You exist to make us happy. I wish they had made the execs like really terrible people. But it seems like they try
yeah,
to like make it so like, no, sorry, this was out of our hands. We tried our best, but it's over. Um,
yeah.
but
They've given up. Red blood cell and his can-do attitude is trying to get through, but
the lights are turning
uh,
off. The
yeah.
lights are
I'm
literally
curious.
coming off. The hallways are literally going black.
I'm curious to see
Uh,
because I think they're gonna lead you to like he goes to the hospital and turns his life around, like the person, the body. But I want to
yeah.
see what they do with blood thinners because they're guaranteedly gonna put the person on blood thinners, and I want to see what they like blood thinners look like in the blood. And it's like maybe it's like social distancing. We got to walk 6 feet apart. All the red
Oh,
blood
you know what? That
cells.
might be it. That might be it. That
Apart.
might be it. So yeah, next episode is called Revival and Change. So I think he's going to pull through.
Yeah, I think so.
I, I
I think
mean,
so.
I don't want to see. I didn't want to see him die from the inside out, but like at the same time, I kind of did want to see it. So it's like, oh, all right. So we get kind of the both a best of both worlds. We get to see him like push to the edge, but come out of it. So
Yeah. Sorry. Promise Neverland.
yeah,
Promise Neverland. Okay. So yeah, a lot of things just kind of rapidly concluded in this episode, and we got new
yeah,
storylines because we're done with that now, and now we got brand new things, and it was all very sudden and very convenient. And yeah, okay. Yeah. So despite having
Norman
horrible,
gets my bad, guys.
yeah, despite Norman, like, you know, egging them on and a bunch of horrible PTSD and all of this for most of their lives, the Lambda kids are just like, yeah, that's cool. We'll run with this plan now because that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes lots of sense. You know, kind of like how they followed this dude who was only in Lambda for like less than a year, even though they'd been tortured. I mean, I get it. You know, he's rescuing you and stuff like that. But they definitely just kind of rolled over on this whole situation. Like, I'm gonna murder people and I'm gonna eat demons and I'm gonna, you know, murder all the demons. Nah, we're not gonna murder them now. Okay, that's cool. I'm all right with that.
I'm especially surprised by Barbara because Barbara seemed like she didn't even understand what the word chill meant. Like Barbara was like on edge all the time, and I was like, man,
Erik,
we're really gonna have to put her down, huh?
She's the Gabby of the show.
Oh my gosh, she is the Gabby. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she is the Gabby. Yeah. So I thought we were gonna have to like put her down. I was like, Barbara is not making it out of this season alive because she's not going to calm down. But she was like, nah, I like Norman. He's cool. Whatever he says, we're good. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
It was all super convenient. This demon that like worships at the evil blooded temple is evil blooded. He's been in hiding. He's like one of very few people, and yet we coincidentally found him immediately. He coincidentally was there when William Minerva was dying and has a thing that easily attaches to the pen they already have in his hand while he's trying to rescue his granddaughter.
Also named Emma.
This was awfully convenient.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Like I feel like Promise Neverland is a really good franchise, but I feel like the production team for the anime probably understood that they just didn't have like the production capabilities to make like another season or a movie or whatever, and just like whatever, just whatever we can do right here. Like I feel like this really would have benefited from maybe like another season or maybe a movie in between or just some other stuff, because right now it's like I still like the plot.
It feels really rushed.
I still like the plot. I think it would have worked if it would just spread out a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. So, and the manga is pretty spread out. I mean, like I read online, so because I don't know the exact numbers, but the first season is the first 5 books. The second season appears to be trying to cram all 15 other books into one season, and it's just like, what are you doing? It's so. What are you doing?
Yeah, I feel with that much content, I feel like Neverland could have been like a good like ongoing shonen. Like it definitely would not be as long as like Naruto by any means, but it could have been like a good like 100 episode show.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are far in between now.
They do reference the mass production farms in this one, which I don't know that they've referenced in the anime before. In the manga, you get to see those later, and they're terrifying. So look forward to that.
All right.
Really, really horrifically terrifying. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get that. One of the Lambda dudes is apparently a traitor, which I don't remember being in the manga. So that's kind of a new thing. It may be a misdirect.
Yeah,
some things are misdirects.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either, because like he was like all for like, yeah, let's kill these monsters. Like I hate the people that did this to me. You're literally calling the people that's like were complacent in like your whole setup. Like they didn't do it to you, but they literally knew you were there. So it's like, why are you calling them for help? Like, so hopefully it's misdirect, because it wouldn't really make a lot of sense in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Quintuplets.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how much I love when we talk about quintuplets every week.
So it is a sad day when I'm out here defending Nino over Ichika. I'm out here like I'm not even mad at Nino this episode. Ichika's going to mess around and get slapped. Someone's going to slap Ichika, and I'm going to be like, you know what? You deserve that one, because she is really out of line these last couple episodes.
I feel like this particular episode, they took every girl's personality and they put them in one of those machines that picks the lottery balls, and they just shook them up real hard and picked random ones out, because everybody was like off model. Like, and I don't mean like
I don't
in
think so.
storyline. They were off model. Like Yotsuba was off model. Ichika was off model. Like a lot of people in this episode were very not the way they've been the rest of the series. So
I don't think Yotsuba was really that off. Because Yotsuba has always been like, I'll do anything for anybody whenever somebody needs help. Like that's always been her issue. Like every time like the basketball team say, hey, we're short a person, can you help? Oh, I have a test tomorrow, but yeah, sure, I'll help you. Like Yotsuba has always been like the character that like never is like looking out for herself. And so this episode, it was like, oh, what do you want, Yotsuba? Oh, let's get something for
I
Itsuki.
get that
No,
part.
Yotsuba,
I
what
mean,
do you want?
I
So
get that part. It feels really weird. Like she wasn't into him. She wasn't into him, and then she suddenly is, and it feels really rushed and weird, and I don't like it. And I don't like the way Ichika's
yeah.
acting because it doesn't make sense. Because it was like she's trying really hard and she loves her sisters and she's really kind of grown up and she's providing for a while. She was providing for all of them monetarily, and now she's gonna be super catty and weird. Like it doesn't make
Well, I think
sense.
so. With her is like she felt that like she's feeling that she's like always there for everybody else, and she's not like looking out for her own interests. And so that's supposed to be her character development moment where she's like, yeah, like I'm not going to let other people like take their
Yeah,
shots and
but
I
she's
just sit
character
by. So
developing
it's a big
into an
turnaround.
asshole. Like,
Yeah.
like
I can't believe she stole the picture though. I don't know if she's planning on doing with that picture, but like if her actions continue on with the direction they've been going recently, like it's not good.
yeah,
So
no, it's terrible. The show is getting worse. The show is getting appreciably worse, and I'm like, I don't like it, and I like it even less now. I like it. I dislike it for different reasons than I initially disliked it for, but there's still reasons nonetheless. It feels like the opposite. Well, it feels like Yashahime, except instead of giving me more and more and more and more plot points, they're giving me more and more and more and more reasons to hate this show. So, oh, maybe it is like Yashahime. I don't know. We're going to complain about that in a second.
oh, we are.
We are. Yeah, we are. But yeah, I'm gonna be grateful when we're done with quintuplets. Let me just be real with you. Quintuplets circles the drain for shows that we watch for me. Okay, that and Yashahime are neck and neck all the time for worst show of the week for me. Cannot wait to
Yeah,
drop it.
I don't think quintuplets is I don't think quintuplets is bad, but it's not great in terms of what we're watching. Like we're watching a lot of good
Oh
stuff,
God, not even
and
close.
so it's
Yeah.
definitely towards the bottom of the list right now.
Ugh, ugh. All right. Spider. Oh, refreshing. Something good.
Yeah,
Something good. I love Spider. Okay. So, she's our main character is fighting as a monster from someone else's viewpoint in this episode, and she's terrifying. And it's
yeah,
great.
like
It's such
like
a
we're not
serious
used to seeing
spider.
her not be cute. She's such a cute spider,
I
and so now we get to see her for the first time from the perspective of the humans, and it's like, oh my god. But the thing is like she was really mad that they walked into her home. I love it whenever she talks about her home because she says it in English. She always says my home. But
I
so but they walked into her home and like they burnt it, and she's like, wait a minute, bro, like what are you doing? So apparently when she thinks she's talking to people, like she's just standing still because she was just standing in the doorway, but in her perspective she thinks she was yelling at them. So I mean, she didn't attack them
she's
for
so
a long time.
adorable. She
She just
did.
stood there.
She's
They
so
didn't have to
adorable.
fight. They asked for it.
Baby.
They definitely asked for it. They could have just like walked away.
I like that she's getting so powerful. I love it. I love it. I need her to be like the demon lord here, okay? Like I don't
Yeah.
care about Renmaru anymore. I need her to be the demon lord. This is this is where we're at. Um main character. So today I learned he has like a billion other siblings too. Didn't know that
Yeah.
until this episode. Thought he only had the one brother because it's the only brother he cares about. Clearly, it's the only one he ever talked about in the show. But apparently, he has like two or three other brothers too. And they're like, yep, that's our duty. And one of his brothers is kind of a jerk, and the other one's real sympathetic. And now we got more characters that we don't know a whole lot about. But okay, I'm
Yeah,
in.
one of the brothers
I
might
don't
be
care.
bad. I don't know if
Yeah.
all the brothers are going to be content with the youngest getting the hero role, but so things are shaping up because in the past, Spider, she's now maxed out Taboo, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds like it should be a problem. So she has Taboo
Yeah.
maxed out, and that's a
It's going
big
to be a
target on her
problem for
back.
that one church girl.
Yeah, and then the interesting thing though is that the old man that was reflecting on the thing that happened 15 years ago with her, he was saying
Mhm.
that the spider he was saying that one of the fortresses was attacked, like they all got attacked at the same time. One of them got attacked by a spider just like her, and he was saying how that spider might be like related to the spider he fought 15 years ago. And so it's trying to say Kumiko might not be on the good guys team right now, which is kind
Yeah.
of weird. I don't know. Is she actively trying to like destroy the human race for like what is the reason behind that? But we have to
Who
wait and
knows?
see.
Who knows? I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right.
Yashahime.
So Harriman
Man,
points out quintuplets is kind of generically bad, and Yashahime is insulting, and I think that's true. The stakes for Yashahime are much higher than for the quintuplet show, because you come into the quintuplet show and you know it's going to be a stupid harem anime, and you're right, it is. And I still think quintuplets is bad, but yeah, Yashahime has a big pedigree to get over, and they're, I don't know, taking a dump all over it at every step of the way. Okay, like the show is bad. The show is just, the storyline is bad, and
with
it should feel bad
Yashahime,
for being so
Yashahime, it's like they have a story and they could follow that story, but instead they're talking about six other stories. It's like we had a very simple thing: two sisters
Yep,
separated by time. They literally remind us at the beginning of every single episode. Two sisters
yep,
separated by past and present, and
yep.
they do the whole
And
thing. And it's like that's not
they
even
come
the
back.
issue right now. Like we're not even. They were at first they were trying to find the butterfly, and it was like okay, two sisters and their cousin trying to find a butterfly. That way they get one of their dreams back. Very simple plot. Would have been perfectly fine, but then we throw in the parents and Shishomaru and Kimimaru, and like it's like, what are you doing? Why are
Oh,
so
you
many
got,
things happening?
and they introduced more in this episode. They gave you more plot points, because you know
Like
what this show needed?
what?
Another like 8 plot points that you didn't know about before, and that we're just gonna, that aren't particularly tied to anything. Sashomaru's mother, and she's like got a wheel of time or some crap,
I
but the
don't know
wheel of
why she
time
has
is
a wheel of
down.
time. Like I like Sesshomaru's mother being in there because she's always been a factor. Like she was in the original, and like she's just not a good person. Like she's not like a villain or
Yeah.
anything. She's just not a good mother by any means, right? And so she's always been there. So it's nice to bring her back, being like the exact same character she's always been. But it's like, why does she have a time wheel? And then why does Zero care about all like why? It's
Well,
so
no, you
much.
got
And
even
then
further than that. She's got a time wheel, and then Sashomaru is going to look for a pinwheel that fits in the time wheel, because the time wheel hasn't moved, because Destiny hasn't moved it, or some crap. I don't even know.
and yeah, at the
Okay,
same time,
so you got that
Kimimaru
plot.
is in the pet present or future or
He's in the
whatever. How
future.
did he get there?
Yeah,
How is he in both spots? What's happening? Like
I don't know. And he's
I
been in
don't.
the future too, because he was her teacher, and he was her teacher when she was there. And it's like, what are
Yeah,
you doing? What's going
and
on?
then like,
And then
oh my god.
you got these like pearls, and she's made these pearls out of the Shikon jewel, and they only tell you that, and then you've had these pearls kind of around for the whole season, and then she's like, don't bring me the pearls. Why did you bring all the pearls back? And he's like, I thought you wanted the pearls, and what do you, they're your pearls. And then she like gets killed, but she's tied to Rin somehow. And now when she dies, Rin dies, and
That's
Sashomaru's
like,
mad. But instead of
yeah,
Rin
it's
dying,
so much.
Rin wakes up. Why did she wake up if she was gonna die? And why is she in a coma? And
Yeah, Like, and then I feel like this would have been a good time to remind the viewer of the limitations of Sesshomaru's sword, because if you don't remember it, you'll be like, "Oh, why doesn't he just let her die and then bring Ren back?" The thing is, when he first met
Yeah.
Ren, he used the sword to bring her back, so you can't do it. It's like the Dragon Balls; you can't bring somebody back twice. Um, so that'd been a good time to remind the viewer about that, because it's like it seems really dumb otherwise. But
Yeah.
how did Tenseiga break? Like that is the equivalent of the Dragon Balls being destroyed. Like that sword has survived so many battles. It is one of the legendary great swords, and its counterpart is Inuyasha's sword. So it breaking is like a major deal. Like
Well,
it's
also, how does that make any sense? Because they've led you to believe through this whole thing that if you're a half demon, you don't have as much power as a full demon, especially as like your sire, right? Like Inuyasha was
yeah.
never as powerful as his dad, because he was a half demon. So then how did the sword break? Because theoretically, Sesshomaru is way more powerful than either one of the girls.
Yeah, like she's pretty much Zero is the one that broke it, and Zero is pretty much human at this point. Like,
I know. Zero put, I'm going to take my demon power and I'm going to put it into these pearls. And now I'm basically living like a human. And what? But then she
it's
still
so
has some
much.
power
It's
and it's
so
really
much.
inconsistent.
And
And
these
I just,
pearls are worthless. Like these pearls are worthless. Literally everybody that ever touches these pearls end up dying afterwards. Like they give you no power up. There's not a
oh my
single
God.
person
Yeah.
besides Riku
Especially
that has
for
touched
like
these pearls and didn't immediately die.
all the random mobs that have done it too. Like the snake dudes and all of these people. Like they were so excited and then they just die. It was like, sorry, man. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh my
this doesn't
god.
make any sense. I can't
Oh
deal with this
god.
show. Oh, the show
Oh
hurts my
my god.
soul. And
Wouldn't it be
we're gonna
like
be
we
at
were
the end of
almost
the
at the end,
season.
Jess? The
I
season's
know we're
almost
gonna be at
over.
the season
We're
in like
not
an
gonna
episode
renew
or
it.
two. Oh my god.
This show would not be returning
Uh,
to next season of Anime Book Club.
no, we will not be following the show in the future. Dear God, no. Like I don't know who was like smoking crack when they made this storyline, but they need to like get help. All right,
Stop
they
it.
need to get just stop. All right. Ugh. All right.
Oh my
Moving on.
god.
Horimiya is real weird, and I'm falling out of love with this show in some ways, but I really love Yuki, so now I'm into Yuki.
So
So
so I am so content. I'm so good with Hori's and Miyamura's relationship. Like they can like we're good. We don't have to see anything more of them. Just close the book and just give the show to Yuki, right? Like we're done. Like
yeah.
we're
Well,
done. Like
the more
I
we're
feel like
showing Hori and the more we're showing Hori and Miyamura, the less I like Hori. I mean, it was
yeah,
just kind of weird for the last 2 weeks, and this week was problematic. Like,
like I felt like this line right here, if she was joking, it'd have been funny. But the fact that she wasn't joking and she's almost completely serious is like, wait a minute, this that your relationship was really healthy, but now you have weird kinks and you're really protective to the point where you're telling him he can't hang out with his friends. Like if like oh my god, it'd be such a bad look if like it was like reverse and he told her like, hey, if you're going to date somebody else, date a girl. Don't dump me over another guy, and don't hang out with other girls, or don't like you know what I mean. Like
yeah. Well, no, it came off as
so
really homophobic. I mean, like it really did, honestly. But it was not a good look. And also, I don't like. So this is a really good example of this this screen grab right here because the show is not comedic. And most until like 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes ago, all of the comedic parts of it were actually really subdued. And then it's like they
yeah,
had a change, like a complete shift, where you have all of this weird Hori beating the crap out of people and getting angry over the top comedic crap, and it doesn't fit. It's like they changed tone in the show part of the way through.
yeah.
And it doesn't I
Like
hate it. I can't stand
like I
it.
said it last week. Like it feels like the writer probably maybe manga sales dropped or maybe something changed, and over time the manga probably changed. Like it feels like it feels like the writing is just suddenly shifting, and it feels like really dramatic because we're watching the anime episodes back to back. But it might not have been so much if you're reading the
Mhm.
manga of over the course
Yeah.
of like 6 years. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it just feels like really sudden. I don't really like. I don't want to see any more of Hori and Miyamura. Yuki, like I love
No.
Yuki. Yuki, like
Yeah.
like this
Yuki's
show.
storyline
This show
this
has.
week was the best part.
I'm I'm
Yuki was
so
great,
angry.
and
I'm I'm so angry at how much I understand Yuki, and it's like, oh my god, please, please, I'm so angry. And then like the show does a really good job at making you root for both girls, Yuki and Sakura, because
yeah.
they're both good girls, and they're
Yeah,
trying.
well,
It's
that's
just
what
like,
they said at the end. That's what they said at the end, that the redheaded guy is like, it hurts even more when no one is wrong, like no one did
yeah,
anything wrong. And he's right. They didn't. That neither one of them did anything particularly wrong. And
yeah,
um it's pretty clear, like Toru's trying to be freaking subtle, and then he realizes, I feel like he realized halfway through what was going on, and he's like, Sakura doesn't make snow go away, right? Like, and said that on
yeah.
purpose, and he's like, he
Like he
figured it
had to
out.
have
And
said it
he's
on
like,
purpose. He had to
okay,
have. But it's like it
yeah,
almost feels like out of the blue because it's like we didn't really get any hints that he liked her at all. But if anything, it feels like he was kind of setting it up when he liked Sakura because he did the exact same thing with Sakura 2 episodes ago where she gave him
the cookies,
the
yeah,
the desserts and he was like, "Oh, I love Sakura." And she's, "Oh, you love Sakura?" "Yeah, I love it." And like that one, I guess he wasn't paying attention and he didn't realize what he
yeah.
did.
Well,
But it seemed
even
like he
for
was
this one,
trying to like, huh? What'd
I
you
said
say?
even for this one, I don't think he realized he didn't realize the symbolism of the names until halfway through the scene. And when he did,
Yeah.
he made it clear. I don't think he realized it the last time at all. He's just being a dumb dude. I mean,
Yeah. So I like that they're going to be together. I think they're going to move forward with that. A lot of people online on Twitter and stuff were mad that Sakura didn't win because like she confessed first, and it was like, oh, Yuki kind of like ran away and she didn't like confess or anything. And it's
who
like, well, I
confessed
mean,
first? Are you kidding me? They've been friends for like years. I mean, like, what?
I
She
know.
got there first? Are you kidding? Like, come
So it's
on.
like there was a bunch of Yuki hate online last week, and I'm like, come on.
Those
But
people are
the
wrong.
show does a good job
Absolutely.
at making you feel for both characters. Hopefully
Yeah.
Sakura hopefully she finds someone new. I kind of did root for Yuki and the other guy, the
The
attractive
pretty guy?
guy.
I like
Yeah,
her sister's
he's
like,
a good
what are
guy.
you doing?
He's a
Don't let a good meal go to waste.
I would have
Sister
supported
knows
that
what's up.
as well.
All
Uh,
right, so we had sadly no new skate
no
this
skater
week,
boys.
breaking my
They said, "See
heart
you later,
because
boy."
I love Skate. Skate is ridiculous. I did not expect to love this show as much as I do, but I do. My ship is
Yeah.
Matcha Blossom, and I love Cherry, and I love Joe, and I can't wait to see them next week.
Yeah.
They're in love.
Oh my god. The show is just getting wilder
They're
and
in love.
wilder.
It is. Also with a
Yeah.
strange hiatus this week is Attack on Titan. There was an earthquake in Japan which delayed production. So that they sent like an apology, like Crunchyroll came out with an apology because they're gonna air 2 episodes next week, I believe. Like right before
Yep.
they're gonna release the one from this week. So
Yeah.
we'll see it
Apparently
then.
19 minutes of the episode aired before it cut off the last 3 minutes of the episode for the earthquake warning. And so that's why if you go on like Twitter and other places, you'll find tons of spoilers of
Mhm.
this current episode. So stay off that for the next couple of days.
Yeah. We neither one of us watched any part of it, so yeah. Nairman is bringing it up. Yeah,
Oh, this is only
we didn't
10.
watch any
Okay.
of it, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna review. We're not gonna talk about it till next week, just because it's a lot of people didn't see it. It didn't come out at all on Verve. So
Yeah.
yeah. Wonder
Wonder
Egg.
Egg.
What a week for Wonder Egg.
A
Oh my
lot of stuff
god.
happened in Wonder Egg. A lot of
A
stuff
lot.
and a lot of stuff happened and a lot of stuff didn't happen. So man,
Yeah, okay, so
right? So we
you
you
go
can go,
ahead,
you can
go ahead.
go.
So at the beginning of this episode, you found out that Akka and Ura in like the last episode are manipulating stuff, and then the girls overheard it, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And so they go to like confront them first thing in this episode. Everybody but Momoy goes to confront them, and they're like, "Dude, what's going on?" And Neru has like a picture of what they look like in their human forms because it's just their brains and a puppet now, and all of this story. And then they're like, "We need you to tell us what's going on." And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, Momoy has a date. Oh, let's go do girl stuff and run to the surface." And what?
Yeah,
What?
that was like really big information, and even the two guys are like, wait a minute, you literally caught us. You're not going to interrogate us? Okay, I guess we'll talk to you about it tomorrow. Sweet.
Oh my
It's like,
god. Oh my god, that hurt my soul. Like what? And it never came back. Like they went home after that. Like they didn't go back
yeah,
and talk to these dudes, right? Okay. Well, the
like
rest of the show was very good. You've got Momoy gets asked out by Boy, and she's very excited because she's like, "I'm gonna go on a date. We're gonna have a magical experience." Turns out when she gets there, he thought she was a boy and he's gay, and he's
yeah,
actually like, "Oh no, I thought you were a dude, and I'm not into
yeah.
girls," and it's really depressing. So she gets in an
So
egg with a trans boy
One
who is,
one second. Let
oh
me cut
yeah,
you off right there because it's like for the last week I've been seeing, or I mean, I'm sure it's been around for longer than that, but last week I've been seeing a meme going around where they're like, oh, you know, when you tell a a traumatic story and then no one's laughing and that's how you know it's traumatic because you thought it was a joke, but no one
that's
thinks
what
it's a joke but you. This is what happened because my mom was like, yeah, funny thing happened. The boy I was got asked out about, or the boy that asked me out, like, yeah, it turns out he's gay and he thought I was a boy and it's not gonna happen. And everyone's like, dang, that sucks. Just no, please laugh. Please laugh at me.
laugh. I need you to laugh. Please laugh.
Even Rico was like, no, I'm sorry, we can't.
Yeah. Well, but so then Momoy gets in an egg, and in the egg is trans boy who is very feminine looking, who has a horrific backstory of like
Yeah,
wanting, feeling like a boy and wanting to dress like a boy and be a boy, and then like gets raped by his like teacher or coach or something, and then gets pregnant by it. Oh my god!
yeah,
Like, oh my god, it was just this horrific backstory. But he likes Momoy as a girl, and it has this really cute little scene at the end. Don't get a boyfriend till I see you, and then kisses her, and oh, it's really really cute. Um, so Nariman asks if a trans boy could be in the egg world, could a trans girl? Honestly, I think based on what we know in the series so far, Akka and Ura are determining who's in the world anyway. So I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than their experiments. That's my feeling. Is they're choosing it because that's kind of what it was insinuated in the last episode. Whatever their machinations are is what's driving this. So I don't think it actually has any basis in anybody's assigned or preferred gender at all. I think they're just choosing what
yeah.
they want to choose.
They did specifically say that only girls could be in the eggs. So, but I don't know if that is a rule that they made up for themselves. I don't
Yeah,
because
that's
they
what I'm
said
saying.
they said it had something to do about like the emotions of girls, but then like I don't if it's a mental
Yeah,
thing, then I don't know because they never said it was a biological thing. They always said it was mental, and so if it
yeah,
is mental, then there shouldn't be any restrictions.
right, and that's the thing. I think that was just kind of a line. I think like based on what we knew about them, they're like scientists and they're doing an experiment, so they're controlling the factors in the experiment. I don't think it has anything to do with gender and anything like that. They're just choosing to use this vector for experimentation because that's how they want to experiment. But
Yeah.
you know, uh,
But yeah,
yeah, I don't
right
think
after
that.
that,
I think a boys cast of Wonder Egg with the same premise would be really interesting. I agree with that. I think that's really interesting. But yeah, like
it definitely would be a
after,
lot more Naruto-ish or Black Clover-ish. Like it'd be a lot more like they definitely would hype up the action more if it was a boys thing, because I feel like it'd be a different type of marketing. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, if you talk about like a second season, I feel like it would feel thematically very similar with trauma and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know. So after this, and all of this works out, and they defeat the big phallic monster because it had a giant phallic nose too, like one of the oni, traditional Japanese oni monsters, but intentionally phallic because of the
I did
situation.
not
I
realize
think.
that.
Yeah, that's how I took it. But then all of a sudden, Momoe's like statue that she's working for is gone, and her friend just like appears as maybe a spirit or a ghost or something
Yep.
and tries to
There's
hug
even
her.
fanfare.
And
It's like little music and like little confetti. Was it confetti? But there
yeah,
was like a curtain in the reveal, so it was a very weird moment.
yeah,
And so
and
it
then it gets
implied that she
even more
won the
dramatic.
game.
Yeah, so her friend disappears, and we don't know what's going on there. Then there's water dripping from the ceiling. Then there's a monster creature with a creepy head that has the body of a girl who kills her pet when it's full size, like her alligator friend. Panic. Panic is hers, yeah. And then makes her eat it. Literally
Yeah.
makes her
So
eat it.
it was really weird because I don't know if this happened exclusively in the real world, because Momoe should have her weapon. And so when she didn't even try to fight back. She literally just stood there and let her pet get killed. And we already established that these pets are more than that. Like it's literally like their children. These pets think that
Yeah.
these girls are their mothers. And so she literally just let it die. And I'm like, do something. Like, what are you doing? You literally just beat the crap out of something 30 times that girl's size. Like,
Yeah.
so
Well, and then
so
it
I
was
don't quite
dramatic.
understand.
She goes home and she does, as far as we could tell, she still has no answers on what's going on with her friend and stuff like that. And she's eating fried chicken, and well, they say that alligator tastes like fried chicken. It does.
Oh my
I've
god.
had gator. It does taste like fried chicken.
Okay.
Because it's usually fried when it's prepared. But then she like has a traumatic reaction and vomits in the sink. And then the Aka dudes are like, "Hey, your friend has completed the thing. You should totally redouble your efforts and try to get more eggs and do this." Maybe you could tell them what happened to her suicidal friend then. If she's completed and she's done. Why
Yeah,
don't they
like
communicate? Why don't they
there's a lot of
communicate?
things that aren't being talked about in the show. And Momoe was having, like, her trauma seems to be she's scared of going to sleep now. So I think she thinks that if she goes to sleep, she's gonna go back into the dream world. But it's so weird because it's like the thing that she just fought isn't really that much scarier than everything she's fought
Yeah,
before. It's like,
yeah,
if anything, that seems like better because at least it's just one on one. You've been fighting literally 30 Sino evils or whatever, like for the 30 versus
yeah.
1 for the last 10 episodes. Like, what is the problem?
I, I don't
So
know. I
they
don't
have a lot of
know. I don't
explaining
know,
to
man.
do.
I, the show, it certainly throws a lot of plot at you though, like, but it's all part of the same circle, unlike Yashahime where there's 800 different plot lines. So at least I'm
Yeah.
appreciative of that. At least we're all in the same like universe of plots here. So it's cool. Oh, see you later, man. Enjoy your stream. Slime.
All right.
It's time, Eric. It's
Slime.
time.
Slime. Oh my god. My boy, Rimuru. I
Wait,
knew
wait,
he
wait,
wasn't
wait,
going
wait,
to
wait,
let me
wait, wait,
down.
wait, 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 wait. Before we get there, let's start at the beginning because that was the end of the episode. All right.
It was.
Let's
It
start at the
was.
beginning. Everybody in Slime decided that they were done with your crap, everybody's crap, and that's just how we're gonna be. That's how we're gonna be from now on. So Old Man Swordsman totally just decapitates the sword dude. or the fast
Yeah,
guy that was
he he cut his head off
decapitated.
and then grabbed his head, and was like, "You're already dead." I was like, "Oh my god."
Yep. He's like, take this time that you have left to think about what you've done because you're already dead. Like,
Oh my god.
crazy. Oh, and then you got the other
But like,
side, and or
that wasn't even the
well,
first one. Bid-
no, he
Biddy
wasn't.
Mara was the
Like,
first one.
there's a bunch of like random NPCs that like the freaking the horned guy, the demon Oni guy or whatever. He's just like,
The red
yeah,
one?
I'm mad. I'm gonna take it out on you. Yeah, the red guy.
Yeah.
He's not, I'm
And so that's
mad.
how it
I'm gonna take it
starts.
out on you. And
That's
he
how it
just like
starts, right? And so
murders
at the beginning,
everybody.
you weren't at this point we weren't completely sure about how Brew was going to be, but he just pulls out a sword, his flaming sword, and just cutting someone once causes their entire body to be engulfed in flames and just disintegrate. And that's when we
Yep,
knew that was the signal that this is
that was
not
it.
going to end well for the humans.
Nope, nope. Then he just massacred
Oh my
all of them there.
god.
And then the guy the alligator guys, those guys are like,
The dragons. That was Gabiru. Um, Man,
yeah, they
he
were
he's like he's the weakest in their crew almost. Like he was a joke character for a long time because how weak and stupid he is. But now he's like, nah, we're doing this,
oh,
and he just straights up Daenerys's like the whole crew, the whole like camp, and him and all his
he
dragons
does.
just like rain fire down on them, and it's like, oh my
Yep,
god, I
and
was
they're
so
done. And
excited.
and then we get like four people and two wolves showing up at like the last camp, and Grandpa's cutting some dude's head off, and the two goblin guys and the wolfy friends are just demolish all the rest of the humans there, and then there's the orc lord or orc king. Yeah,
Yeah, he's he's
I'm
he's
all
the new
about
Orc
that.
Lord. He's the new Orc
He's
Lord because you know why he's a new Orc Lord? Because the last Orc Lord got killed by Rimuru the last time someone challenged him, right? So there's an Orc Lord, and about 20 like even more orcs died than humans so far. Like the orcs, he just straight up and says, "Hey, you guys are out of control." He just demolished like half of the orc race, and then was like, "Hey, I'm your new leader now." This guy is a new Orc Lord. Like he just came up and cleaned house. So the new Orc Lord is like, "Hey, I got this," and he just pummels this guy into the ground. Oh my
demolishes
god!
him. And then the
Like
other guy like kills the chick so he can unlock like another special ability so he can heal himself. And the Orc Lord's like, okay, let's see how much you can actually take. And just goes to town.
he
Absolutely
tenderized this
goes
man. He
to
tenderized this meat. Like
Oh my god. And
the
then
guy
like
was
grandpa
begging
comes
him
back,
to stop.
throws the other guy's head at him, and it was delightful. And you find out that the wizard guy is probably like hundreds of years old because the wizard guy from Falmouth kills the kid. Like they don't actually wind up killing the kid and inhabits his body. And now wizard
Yeah,
guy is the young guy's body, which I mean it seems pretty efficient if you want to live like thousands of years, I
he's
guess.
straight up. He's
Um,
literally just Orochimaru at this point.
Yeah, but I
Like
feel like they were
like
going out of your way to show you that Falmouth was evil, almost like they laid it on real thick with all the scenes with the soldiers and stuff right before our buddy Renmaru shows up. And he opens
yeah,
up a whole can of whoop ass right there. A whole can.
yeah,
Overflowing.
and so, you know,
Overflowing.
well, and so he uses I don't know if they're going to explain the details in the next episode, but in the manga they explain to what this attack is. The attack is using water droplets and literally amplifying the rays from the sun. So he pretty much just has this giant magnifying glass shooting lasers from the sky and piercing people through the whole like camp, right? And so apparently in the manga it's like more graphic because in the manga you get to see the holes in people's heads and bodies that the lasers are piercing through, and I'm like, oh my god,
I
like
still think this
like
is very
everyone.
excessive, but
What'd you say?
it I still think this is very excessive. I mean, and from the description, this show has been excessive, like demolishing half
Yeah.
of the orc race. That doesn't seem super ethical. I'm gonna be real. It really doesn't
So
seem super ethical.
they're very much out of control. They kind of had to happen. But the thing is so interesting. You know the wolf,
That
the
had to
blue
happen,
wolf that's Rimru's
really?
best friend. Yeah, the blue wolf, right? Rimuru killed his father in front of him.
Right.
Like
Yeah, you took that.
he
Yeah.
literally right in front of him. And there was an episode. There was an episode where him and his wolf was talking, and the wolf was like, "Man, like you're my best friend, and I will literally die for you." But I do remember like last month you killed my father right in front of me, and Rimuru was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry."
Yeah, my bad. My bad, dog. My bad. Oh my god. I still think it's highly unethical. We're definitely going to run into some complication before we hit 10,000 because that's
Yeah,
they wouldn't have said it like that if you weren't, like
yeah, it's going a little bit too
but
smoothly, honestly.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Five
know. I don't
thousand
know.
575 and counting. We're almost there. We're
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
there. Oh
I'm
man.
going to have to have like so next season when we do spinning the wheel, I'm going to have to put Berserk on the wheel and you're going to have to watch and when we roll that one, you have to dedicate time to watch all 3 of the movies because you have to understand how
No,
similar this is.
no, no, no. I'll read the wiki. I might
No,
watch Berserk
not
eventually.
the same.
But
It is not the same. I didn't say you had to watch all 26 episodes of the original series. I said the 3 recap movies, okay? I was being
that's pretty much the
nice.
same thing.
It's not. It's not, and you know it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Ah, ReZero. I never look forward to ReZero. It's like I never do. The episodes are so long, and I just don't care about Subaru at all. And there's so much going on in this one. All right, so library's burning down. The half of the episode is Subaru trying to convince Beatrice to leave because she's dumb, and I can't deal with Subaru's freaking pick me up speeches anymore because that's
Yeah,
every
it's
freaking
so much.
episode.
It's
Ugh.
so much. Every episode has to be, oh, here's 20-minute motivational speech to get you to do something. And it's like, just do it, please. Just do it. And like in the case of Beatrice, I get it. Like she's literally been in this library for 400 years, and she's been waiting for the quote unquote the one and it was all just a practical joke by Echidna. Like it was all just a joke. Like she was like, whoever this girl picks to be the one is the one, and she was just waiting to see if her kid is going to realize it. And then she forgot about it. She forgot about it. Subaru had to remind her, hey, like, hey, you know this girl named Beatrice? She says she's waiting for somebody. And Echidna was like, oh yeah, I did tell her that, didn't I? And it's like Beatrice, just pick Subaru and go. Why are you literally
Yeah.
just sitting in a burning library? Just go, let's go. It kind of
Ugh,
is
this
sad
was
the
a
library is
frustrating.
destroyed though.
Yeah,
Like that's a lot of
the
books. That's a lot of
it
books.
is. And it's like all of Ekinina's knowledge or whatever, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
gone. So,
that could have been
MBD.
useful,
It's
but
good to know
whatever.
Rosewald is not immortal and that there's other Rosewalds and that they conveniently look almost identical to each other. But okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
he's doing the exact same thing that the old man was doing in Slime, where they showed the scene of Rosewall going into the library, and he was in the book he got was a book about transferring your soul, and so it seems somehow Rosewall is having descendants and pushing his mind to his descendants
Two
and just
sentence. Yeah.
living through them, and that's a little weird. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's actually having children like that or if he's like cloning himself, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, hey, we've got established clones in this show, so it could be, it
Yeah,
could
it might
be.
he might just be copying Echina's magic that she used to clone Ruzi. I forgot. She the pink haired
Ruzel.
girl has 3 different names.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Um,
I get you.
but
They really wanted you to think Ram was dead for most of this episode, but she's not.
yeah,
And
Rosewald
yeah,
actually makes no sense. So there was another timeline where Rosewald, like Subaru and Rosewald were just having a conversation, and Ram didn't like the way the conversation was going, so Ram kind of like butted in and was like, hey, hold on, let's clear a few things up. And Rosewald was like, wait a minute, no, I'm talking to Subaru right now, and he kills Ram. Just flat out kills her in the room without hesitation. And it's like, what? Like, how are you crying at her death now when you killed her without any hesitation like 20 episodes ago?
Yeah.
So nothing makes sense. None of the villains make any sense in this show, honestly.
Yeah. Well, at least the murder bunnies are really stupid cute. So
Oh
give
my
me like
god.
800% more murder bunnies because I like
Oh
them.
my god. They're terrifying. They
Terrifying. Okay.
literally eat you and eat you from the like they eat inside your body and eat you from the inside out. Like they climbed into
But
Subaru's stomach. It was eating him inside.
they're so fluffy
That was
though. I like them. They're so
that's
fluffy.
terrible. That's
Don't judge
probably the
me.
worst possible way to die. If you're getting eaten in small bites, that how could you how could you the only worst way of dying is probably like fire ants or something.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Um, I followed this episode enough, which is good. However, I really need this show to have episodes where Subaru isn't on like a monologue encouraging something for like half of the
Yeah.
episode because that I'm real tired of it. I haven't even watched that much of this show, and I'm real tired of it.
Yeah.
So
I was tired of it before the season even started and we just got more of it.
yeah, yeah. Somali was great, Eric. This was a great
Yeah.
choice. It was
I
super
love the
cute.
show. Did you watch
I'm
it in
already on
English or
episode
Japanese?
English. I'm watching
Yeah.
it in English. You said Kale Bear
I
was
first
the I love Kale Bear,
yeah,
so yeah, I'm watching
yeah, he's
English.
really good. And then
He's definitely
th-
you know what he sounds like? He
you,
sounds like the Mandalorian, like not his voice, but like the way he talks to her, like a little girl, you know. And he doesn't have
I still
experience with
haven't
children and he's facts.
I still haven't seen The Mandalorian. I had to get around to that.
You need to watch The
But
Mandalorian, dude.
you talked about Cal. You talked about Cal, but you didn't talk about Somali. I don't remember what is coroner Corina Botiger. I don't know if I say her name right, but she's Paimon, and it's Paimon from Genshin Impact. I love
Yeah,
Paimon.
I don't. So my selling point was
Oh my
Kyle Bear,
god.
not
Oh
I
my
skipped through
god.
Paimon's dialogue real fast. Oh, fun
Oh my
fact. So,
god.
voice actress for Paimon, her husband plays Genshin, but she did a TikTok where she's like, "Oh, you play Genshin?" But then she's like, "And I just found out he skips through all of my dialogue." And it's like her actually, well, I have to hear you all the time, so I just skipped through the dialogue for Paimon.
Oh my god, how rude! How rude! Paimon's the best part of the game. Like, Paimon is literally the best part of the whole game.
I
Like,
cannot believe that you got on the internet on national or international internet and you said that Paimon is the best part of Genshin Impact. Get out.
it is
Get out of
like
right
her.
now.
Did you hear her burn? Did you hear how badly she burned Rosaria? Like, I don't know if you got to Rosaria's part of the story, but she said
I'm not.
your walls are so high you can't see over them, and it was the best burn in the whole game. Oh my god.
Ugh. Freaking Paimon. All right. Somali is a really stupid, cute show. And it's going to end really sadly. I know that's coming. I can tell that from the tone of the show. But I don't care. I'm
It
still in it. I'm
it
going to
gets
watch the whole
rough.
thing.
Yeah.
So
So like,
the little girl. In this universe, humans and monster kind of creatures existed together for a while, and then the humans were terrible because they're humans, and humans do that. And they had like a fight with the monster people, and the monster people basically just destroyed them. And then the monster people hunted the remainder of them and were eating them too. And so humans are almost extinct from this world, right? And there's a bunch of monster creatures.
yeah.
Well, way deep in this forest, there's this thing called a golem, which is this dude here, and he lives 1,000 years exactly. And he finds a little girl, a little human girl, Somali. That's the little girl, and that she's wearing that outfit because he's make believing she's a minotaur, so she looks like a monster, so that they don't kill her basically.
Yeah.
At this point, and he's traveling with her to find her parents because he's gonna die in about a year and a half, and he wants to find like her people and return her to her people and all that. But it's really cute because he's very matter of fact because he's like an emotionless robot type thing. And she's like a little child and he's like chasing butterflies and stupid crap like that, and it's really really really
Yeah,
cute.
she
So
accepts him 100% as her father, and she loves him, and she always wants to be with him, but she's just a little kid, so of course she's going to do little kid things like running off and chasing a cat and getting lost, right?
yeah,
And so
yeah,
he doesn't get mad, like he takes everything very practically, and he was like, hey, let's hold hands. Holding hands is a very effective way to limit your
yeah,
movements, and it also prevents you from, like, I can keep track on you without having to actually watch you. And he breaks it down in the
yeah,
most practical way, and he completely eliminates like the whole like human aspect of it because he's not human. And it's like, no,
yeah,
but it's like it shows that he actually is concerned for her safety, and he doesn't want her getting hurt. And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he doesn't even realize that he has emotions. So
I
it's
know
really
he
cute.
gets me told it all the time. Like they meet, they travel from town to town and they meet various people. And he winds up working in a cafe in one of them. And she makes friends with a little bunny boy, and it's really really cute. And it's gonna end very sadly, and I know that's coming, but I'm not there yet. I watched 6 episodes, or five
Yeah.
and a half episodes, 5 episodes so far. It's gonna end sadly. I know it.
There's a massive drop in terms of where this, like, the quality is great. There's a drop in your emotions, and it's like, oh my god, oh my
Yeah,
god. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I highly recommend this show.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it. So as an update for anybody who cares, I finished Dear Brother this week, and it was just as ridiculous all the way up until the
Oh my
end, all
god.
39 episodes. So I finished it this week. That was fun. I'm actually gonna be rewatching Ayashi no Seres next, because I really liked it. We watched Fushigi Yugi, and it's the same mangaka that did those two series, and it just reminded me how much I liked Seres better than Fushigi Yugi. So I'm gonna watch Sarah's and see if it holds up some, because it's been like 15 years since I've watched that show. So
Spoiler alert,
but we
I will
gotta
not
spend.
be watching any more of Dear Brother for the rest till I die. It's a terrible show.
It's not that
It
bad.
is.
I like.
It is absolutely terrible. It's like what if the producers for Days of Our Lives decided, hey, let's make an anime. Oh, but we only get 30-minute episodes? Let's just cram it all in the 30 minutes. Just cram it all in there.
Well,
A
Eric,
plot
if
point every
I
2
mentioned this
minutes.
I mentioned this to you in chat, but I'll mention it for the stream. If you want to watch some better classic shoujo style stuff in that same kind of vein, definitely watch Rose of Versailles, which is appreciably better, and Glass Mask, which is it's more akin to a sports anime. She's like an actress and she's trying to be like the best actress, and it feels almost like a sports anime, and that I'm trying to get better and be my very best kind of thing. But it's that same style, like that same kind of heavy shoujo style. But Glass Mask is really good, and there was an updated version in the 2000s with updated animation that's available, I think, on Verve. So highly recommend. Might put that on my list for the wheel next season. I might put that on my list for the wheel. So
Well,
all right.
who knows what torture Jess is going to pull out next season.
I like how we thank you for the sub and the quote for in related news. I'll never watch that show again. I'm just like torture, Eric. All right, so we're down to 4 shows on the wheel. So they're going to be in quadrants, and whatever quadrant we roll is which one. 2 of them are mine. Both of mine are bad. One of mine is like kind of amusing. One of mine is the worst anime I've ever seen. 2 of
All
them are
right.
Eric's. They're
All
not
right,
going to
let's
be
get
as
one of
bad.
mine. Let's get one of mine. I'm trying to save the audience.
Here we go.
What
That's
is it?
quadrant. It's one of mine. It's not the worst
Oh
anime I've
no.
ever seen.
Okay.
No,
What is it?
it's Demon King Daimow on Verve.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay. I think
Yeah,
I have seen that one.
it's a
I,
booby
I I
show,
have seen that
so
one.
it won't be so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
my
so
last pick
we'll
that's on
watch that one.
watching at some point probably is the one that's going to be the worst anime ever. But for now, we're going to watch Demon King Daimow. This was not a particularly good show, and I don't even think it was a particularly bad show from what I remember, but it is like a harem booby kind of show, and I like those, so you just got to bear with me sometimes. This was the last thing I put on the list. So I don't have a fun story for it. It was just a stupid show that I liked a couple seasons ago, probably 10 years ago. I mean, it's not new, but it's not old. Like, it's not super old like some of the other stuff I've picked. This is I don't know, early to mid 2000s kind of time frame. Maybe
I think so.
definitely mid. I don't think it's early 2000s. I don't think, but yeah. Yeah, so
All right,
we'll
let's
have.
see. It's
We'll
probably on Crunchyroll. I think that's where I watched it first. So I think it's probably on Crunchyroll, and so
Yeah,
we'll talk about it
it's
next
not,
week.
if it's not on Crunchyroll, it's on High Dive, so it'll be on Verve either way. I didn't pick
Yeah.
anything that wasn't on. As a reminder for all of you guys that are in the chat, we are coming up on the end of the season. We are going to start again for next season. If you have a show that is available on Funimation or Crunchyroll/Verve that you want to suggest for our Spin the Wheel segment, we're looking for things to torture Eric with. We're looking for hidden gems that you think we haven't seen. Nothing like real big, like, don't suggest Full Metal Alchemist. Everybody's seen Full Metal Alchemist. We're not going to review Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah. The idea is that you want to find stuff that one of us hasn't seen. Either it's really, really good, or in my case, it's really, really bad, and Eric's going to hate it for the rest of his life. Can't wait. So please feel free to suggest now or later, or send us a message on, I don't know, can you send messages on Twitch?
I don't know.
We will. If you want to submit some stuff too, we'll put up a form as well. We can't guarantee we're going to use everybody's because there's probably going to be a lot of suggestions, and we are going to throw our own torturous material. I mean, really great stuff in there. Both. We're going to do both. It's cool. So
they should recommend The Wind Rises. That way we can talk about how The Wind Rises is such an overrated movie.
Eric and I both hate The Wind Rises. Not that we're going to watch it again. We don't need to watch it again, although I could because it's on HBO Max. But yeah, no, if Eric and I have both seen it and both seen it decently recently, we're definitely not going to choose it for the wheel. And especially not The Wind Rises, because we saw that together and it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It's one of the few movies where I fell asleep in, and I tried to watch it, but it's like, dang, I just couldn't.
It's so I couldn't. It's in my opinion the worst Ghibli movie ever. Okay, it really. And I saw Earwig this year. Okay, and Earwig was no treasure. Let me tell you. Okay.
What? I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch it. I think I'm gonna like it.
It's on HBO Max. Do you have HBO Max?
Yeah, I do.
It's on there now. I watched it like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, I just gotta find time. Gotta find time when you're watching 14 anime.
I mean, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Well, we're gonna decide what we're watching next season. We're gonna go over it some. We may take some suggestions, but I'll be honest, we're probably gonna pick most of those ourselves, just based on things like we'll never watch quintuplets again. Let's never watch quintuplets again, Eric. Let's never watch Yashahime again.
I'm gonna put quintuplets on there just because.
Oh, you're so mean. Don't put Yashahime though, okay? I only can take one torture a week. I can't do Yashahime anymore. It's so bad.
That's fair.
So bad. All right. You guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you later. Bye.